Hey everyone, this is Manshark Sub LPs. I'm Sub, and this is Stellaris. We are of course playing as the Penuri Collective, tree-loving worshippers of the tree. We neighbour the Karim Stellar League, who we are kind of having a little bit of a closed border situation with now, and we are sort of exploring this way. We do have a situation about a gas giant ship in, I think it was BA2, excuse me, or 3. I mean, that is a gas giant, so... Oh yeah, there it is. Very nice. And we will handle that once our science ship finishes surveying the rest of the system, because I want to put an outpost down of that system due to the physics research, because we are tremendously behind in physics research. In fact, yeah, looking at this, it's almost half of what our other society and engineering research is, which is pathetic. We're building a little bit of a starbase over here. See here, it's already got a solar panel network up and running. We'll have a second one in 40 days. Nice, just 12 energy all up, and then we'll have a hydroponics bay, which costs us one of those energy points and gives us 11 food. Oh, okay. This is interesting, but not useful to us. During its survey of Beard 4, the ISS Asmussen the Gracious discovered a previously unknown strategic research dubbed JRO. It is an extremely rare aerosol of exotic particles that appears to have been deposited here through a meteor impact, but its true origin is a mystery. If ingested by psionically gifted individuals, this aerosol should act as a very potent and potentially addictive drug that enhances psi abilities. While we do not yet possess the means to extract this resource, we should seriously consider establishing control over the system for future exploitation. So, JRO exists there. Now, we can't harvest JRO without JRO distillation. However, you'll see here, Hive Mind cannot follow psionic or synthetic ascension paths. I'm not sure if we can become psionic, because that's like a tech. But JRO is pretty much useless to us. We could probably sell it. Our governor is leveled up, that's very nice. Yeah, I mean, if we can get the tech to harvest it. Geez, another one? Okay. If we can get the tech to harvest it, then we will, because it's essentially free money. Like, it's a strategic resource, you can see it here, 5th down. And yeah, you can flog it on the galactic market when we get access to the galactic market, which who knows when that'll be. Oh, deep scans of Bead 5 have revealed a large ocean heated by hydrothermal vents beneath the ice mantle covering the surface. Science Officer Cognat dispatched probes from the ISS Asmussen the Gracious that drilled through several miles of thick ice and found the water below teemed with what appears to be life. We'll need more resources to conduct a thorough study of the many unique life forms inhabiting this ocean. Plus free sociological research, and we get the deep sea expedition
situation log updated.
Situation, which, yeah, just needs him in orbit again. Okay, but see here, they've now got 6 society research in bed. In bed.
System survey
I am
complete.
such a child. Anyway, I'm just going to tell him to do all of the research projects while he builds the outpost. Because we are definitely putting research stations in there.
Construction complete.
Oh, very nice. Hydroponics bay is up. So that's generating a fair amount of stuff. And we don't need to worry too much about the rest of it. Everything's in surplus. Gravy, as they say. Really got to kind of wait for these guys to, you know, build more people. These guys are going pretty good, actually. They've only got 2 spare jobs. We should put something down.
Construction complete.
Do we want one of these? Yeah, actually, because that'll convert minerals to alloys. We're getting a lot of minerals. Could always use more alloys. Yeah, 2 more of those, thank you. Which construction was that, by the way? the actual starbase. Very nice. Research stations first. Yeah, normally I would have my other science ship coming along here and helping out. If this branches too much, we might still do that, but at the moment he's more useful getting us research information. Okay, particularly if we can come down here and work out that this whole section here is free. There's a black hole there too. Black holes are actually really good.
Complete.
Science Officer Cognat has returned from the expedition that studied the rich biosphere in the seas beneath the ice mantle of Bead 5. Several large species native to the lower regions of the global sea have been found to produce a unique inorganic molecule with immense healing properties. This molecule is successfully harvested in large enough quantities, could revolutionize the field of medical science, and may even have industrial applications. It has living metal. Oh, nice. Okay, so first of all, Cognac just got 200 XP. 776 societal research. That's huge. Living metal is now on Bead 5, and we've got the research option of having it. Also, our lad here has just become better at researching voidcraft, which is not useful for us because he's a surveyor. So this system, unfortunately, it's become really useful for us. I say unfortunately because it was supposed to be sort of the first line of defense of the immediate defensive system. We can still use this as a defensive bulwark and bulwark? Yeah, I think that's the word, in Nashira. But it is a little bit annoying. If we colonized Vanaco 3A, once we got a little bit better at colonizing, we could make a sector out of here, but it would only be 1, 2, 3, 4 big. 4 big, actually. This one wouldn't count because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, for some reason... Oh, okay, I see what happened. The living metal actually kind of fucked us a little bit. Yeah, this did have free society research. Now it only has living metal. That's actually fine. I think living metal's pretty good when you get down to it. But the physics research is really what that shit's all about there, so... Just keeping it 100 there. How are we all doing here? Foundries, so job production 7. Yeah, so that's the same job, it's just
Special
more of
project complete.
In a masterful display of engineering, the team under Science Officer Cognat has managed to gently raise a derelict ship on Bead 3 to the gas giant's upper atmosphere. Despite its age, the ancient cruiser is in remarkably good condition, and we've restored power to its systems. No trace of the original crew remains, but we've brought over our own and commissioned the ship into the fleet. Okay, so a couple of things to go over here. We have this cruiser now. Now you can see here how much class matters. This fleet of 10 corvettes is 400 power. This cruiser has 400 power. Yeah. I don't think we can merge him. If we can, that would be really nice. At least 2 military fleets of the same ship class. Oh, sorry. Am I not holding the right key? There we go. Not allowed to merge Stufnar's Armada, yeah. So, unfortunately, it's not a mergeable ship. You can't put it into another fleet. It does have a fairly big upkeep cost, so I'll probably go and put it in orbit of Corinth, just to save on a little bit of upkeep here. But yeah, we basically got a ship. It's got some weapons on it that we don't actually have access to. You can see these medium plasma accelerators, they would be really good in Nashira, because they do less damage to shields but a lot more damage to armor and hull. Actually, we might park him in Nashira. It will still cost us, like, too much. How many shields does he have himself? 800, yeah, so he's not very optimized there, but whatever. Let's go survey. This looks like it's going to split up pretty dramatically, so I'm going to bring our other science vessel over. And yeah, that does reduce our research a little bit, but, you know, whatever. Okay, so we can reduce build cost and increase build speed, or we can reduce upkeeps. Let's see, building and district upkeep, so that's about 47 in total. And what does it get reduced by? 10%? So we'd save about $4 there, nothing there. It's not bad. I think this is more important, prefabricated buildings. We could go pop growth. We'll go pop growth. That's actually pretty useful for us. Okay. These guys have a Tree of Life? Yeah, they have a Tree of Life sapling. Wonder when that gets upgraded. If it can get upgraded.
Construction complete.
Okay, that's good. I'm going to keep him there for when we do research those resources. The other thing that exploring with these survey ships does is it gives us a real opportunity to...
The spirits have granted us new wisdom.
Oh, nice. To increase our ability to find anomalies. Okay, 10% more research station output. I mean, it would be useful, but not very useful. Colony development plus 50%, don't care. This is good. Basic combat rolls is good. God, all of these cost so much, though. Fusion reactors are good because we get more power in the ships, which lets us mount better gear. I think we need to do research station output first, though. But before that, let's study some clouds. So if we come over here to technology, you can see it says busy with special project. So this will stay here, but the special project will advance. Jeez, we are so bad at physics. Is there a better... Hold up a second. Our current physics guy is good at...
Anomaly found.
Yeah, sure, research it. It's got archaeology, excavation, research speed plus 5 in everything, and research speed propulsion. I'm going to hire this guy, because to start with he's only 18. And I'm actually going to fire our current physics researcher. This is a bit of a bold move, because he is currently providing 6% due to his skill level. That's fine. Because this guy will only produce 4% due to his skill level, right? Yeah, 2% due to his skill level, but he's also maniacal and the synaptic enhancers are in. Are we paying upkeep for you? Yeah. I'm going to keep her on board just in case we have anybody turn up that needs particle research. She only costs us two energy credits, which is honestly not that much. How much our starbase is costing us? 27 and giving us 18. Now, while approaching Yin and 2, the ISS Asmussen the Gracious suddenly received a glancing hit by several passing mass driver rounds. The projectiles were billions of years old, and based on their trajectory, they appeared to be stray rounds fired from a neighboring galaxy. After missing their intended target, they continued on a journey for untold millennia until today. The rounds we have recovered are of an advanced design despite their incredible age. That's 400 more engineering research. That's good. It's great, actually. That was the anomaly over here. Not the best of anomalies, but you know what? It's fine.
The spirits have granted us new wisdom.
Okay, tile blockers we've done. Okay. We get more society research from brain drones. We currently get 12 from them, so that would increase it to about 14 or 15 maybe. Fleet command limit would go up by 20, and we would have the ability to unlock the Fleet Supremacy Edict. It's not bad if you need to expand fast. Fleet command limit is useless to us at the moment. I'll explain that in a bit. Pop growth speed up by 10% or habitability up by 5. We'll take that one because it will improve Erriga directly and maybe give us more of a chance in other places. So, fleet cap, you can see here, command limit usage 10 of 20. We can get 10 more corvettes or points worth of ships. Up here we have our naval capacity, which is 10 of 20. If we were to increase our fleet capacity by 20, naval capacity does not increase. You need separate text to increase naval capacity. So getting additional fleet capacity at this point, you can go over it, it just increases upkeep costs and things like that. But increasing fleet capacity at this point isn't really useful. Particularly seeing as we're not even at fleet capacity. Eventually we will need to be, and further on. But yeah, at this point in time, not really necessary. Okay, there's the nebula refinery, by the way. You have to be inside a nebula, unfortunately, but it gives you minerals. It's pretty nice. Our closest nebula is the Abanus Nebula. And technically it was Shigur, but, you know. It's about, yeah, so this trinary system would probably be the closest we've got for it. It's not really that important. Nebulas are kind of nice, you can't see into them. So they can be nice to put like a bunch of shit in there. Why are you going that way? I actually want you to come back this way. You're supposed to be in orbit. Did one of our guys fuck up? Yeah, Sufna's Armada is supposed to be in orbit there. What are you doing? Oh, you're actually traveling? Okay, good. Yes, I'm going to send this guy this way, because it appears that this is a lock point. I don't know what happens down here, of course. This might be a nice, not a nice lock point, because it's not as good as this lock point. But if that's locking off all of this, then that's
System
nice.
survey complete.
It's basically a big ass part of the galaxy that we will then have access to. Let's make sure that he goes here and surveys it. Thank you very much. Seeing as the birds locked off the tree's natural growth up this way. Ridiculous. It's going to be a while before we can clear out that void cloud. Unless this situation helps us out a bit with it. Okay, mining station output up by 10, that's great. Okay. Here's something interesting about techs. You'll notice one of these is purple. Purple is rare. It may not always roll up. Corvette points plus 100. We already had Corvette hull points plus 100. This would be on top of that. Consequently, it's rarer, harder to get, etc, etc, etc. You can see here, if we wanted to spend 723 months on engineering research, we could unlock living metal. This is always available to us, by the way. You can see here, this technology will remain as a valid option until it is researched. Same with super solid materials, because we've already made progress in it. Now, we can do synthetic crystal plants. Do we find rare crystals? Is that a thing? Not important. Corvette hull points, don't particularly care. Star holds, we'll get to that. Minerals from mining drones and minerals from starbase constructions. The mining drones one could be good, but we're already pretty good on minerals. So we're going to take Starholds. Starholds let us upgrade this, which gives us 2 more module slots and an extra building slot, which you better believe we'll be using. This track towards Utopia. Okay. Cool. Yeah, unfortunately that will take a while. Look, our researchers are just kind of shit, unfortunately. There's not too much we can do about that. Wouldn't mind finding more Cyberx stuff though, that'd be nice. Oh hey, that does remind me though, we do have an envoy that we can use. Just to improve relations with these losers. Doesn't cost me anything. Except the use of an envoy. But I haven't exactly found any more aliens around the place. We probably should get that black hole. It all depends whether I find somebody. I shouldn't find anybody in here. We probably would have found them by now. But if I find somebody out here, I might have to rush to lock off tour.
Anomaly found.
A shipwreck of unidentified origin in orbit of Shorax. Like the star? Yeah, I guess it was the star. Okay. Got a lot in that system. Population's fine. There's free available jobs. Our crew aboard the ISS Ombak Stout report that the Shorak shipwreck appears to have been the result of an unexpected geomagnetic solar storm. The supply ship suffered a complete loss of life support systems and sustained inoperable damage, drifting until it entered Shorax's gravity well. There are no survivors. The ship's cargo hold does indeed contain a notable amount of minerals. However, the captain of the ISS Ombak Stout cautions that the construction indicates Kareem design. It's highly likely that the minerals belong to a Kareem Stellar League. They may display should we land claimed in their shipment. So we can get 300 minerals, 10 intel, and displease them, or return them. We do not need 300 minerals. I do not need 10 intel on them, so we'll give it back. We should get a message in a moment.
System survey
being
complete.
All like, oh, thank you so much. You're so nice. Look, 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 look. Goddamn birds. Anyway, I was looking at population stuff, wasn't I? So we've got 3 spare jobs there. It'll take another, yeah, like roughly 30 months for them to fill. We've only got 2 districts left. Fine on amenities. Kind of wondering, food should be fine. We have got a little bit of a deficit in minerals, so let's actually hang on. Mainly because we're not using the mining jobs. We do have a hydroponics farm. Hey, that actually reminds me. No, they're still making only 8.7. Come on, you were supposed to increase job production. Oh, unless if it's 8.7 times 2. Yeah, it could be that. If so, that's a pretty average thing for us to have built there. So probably want to replace it with the other food thing when we eventually get it. Well, if we were to get those, that... It's a hard decision to make, to be honest. Another industrial district, I think. And do we have a population for this? Yeah, I think we're going to go for another hive district. Because we will eventually build more buildings and have more jobs associated with them. What about you? How are you doing? Yeah, you're nowhere near filling up those jobs. Panuri, we have received word of our down supply ship's cargo. We would like to extend our gratitude to you for taking the time to recover it without the need for cream intervention. 100 influence, and we also get 1 favor to use on them, and they like us a little bit more.
System survey complete.
Favors can be used to, like, as a part of a trading thing, if I remember right. Also, we've got a lot of influence now.
Evading heretics.
Okay, that's fine. There's a void cloud in here. So he's going to teleport back this way. That's fine. Now we just send him up to this one. Goddamn void clouds, man. Wow. High gravity. And a strong magnetic field. Strong magnetic field is very good. Particularly if you know, want to get physics research, but it is so far away. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'd still leave these in like the how annoying. Still leave these in the frontier, which would be a little bit weird, and I don't like that. Should we?
Anomaly found.
Yes, please. How much are we actually getting from jobs? Alright, fine. Research subsidies is on. Yeah, slight increase, but you know, every little bit counts, I guess. Yeah, we really need these to fill up a bit. We can, once Corinth gets more full, we can start sending people between planets. Anyway, we have traced the unusual electromagnetic radiation emanating from Arbitraeus, 3A, to a secret subterranean bunker hiding a mega computer the size of a battleship. Our researchers suspect that it may have been there for several thousand years, hard at work solving a single very complex problem, the nature of which still eludes us. When the crew attempted to interact with the computer, they discovered that the facility, which had appeared both abandoned and unguarded, was in fact operated by a security AI, the highest purpose of which seems to be frying its visitors alive. As the crew defeated the AI, it broadcasted a message to an unknown recipient. Scrap it for parts. 100 alloys, 50 crystals, 50 volatile motes. That would be good, but we don't have anything that uses crystals or volatile motes. Use it to boost our own research, which means for 10 years we get 10% more monthly engineering research, or let it continue, which gives us 200 influence. Engineering research. Because 10% of that isn't exactly a small amount. It's 4 points. And that helps us out a lot, to be honest. How are we doing on this? About halfway done. Ugh.
System survey complete.
Okay, Giant Fire has been surveyed and found to be fairly shit. I'm going to come up to this one first before I come back here, because this one kind of looks like it might not have any more hyperlanes out of it. Best to survey the dead ends first, you know? Sure access physics research. God damn it. Alright. Start heading down this way. We have found a wormhole. So, Orpheus here has a wormhole. I cannot tell you where it goes. We need wormhole stabilization technology, and then we need to send a science vessel through it. Wormholes can be a problem. Where it is, that doesn't spike me as like a particular problematic point for it. It's not in a, well, it's not in an occupied system or a system that can be occupied by planets. If it gets problematic and we need to deal with it, we can just put a starbase in there. and lock it down.
Anomaly found.
Yep, keep going. Finding some anomalies in Arbitraeus, that's nice. Yeah, I don't really think there's anything in here that I want to get at the moment, because anything in here will take jobs away from the menial drones. Okay, we found a short-range transmitter located on the surface Arbitraeus 4A. It appears to be an ancient survey marker placed here aeons ago to mark a large deposit of precious metals. Miners it was meant for evidently never arrived. The deposit is still there. It gets 4 minerals. That's really good. Yeah, I think we're going to be expanding down here. So yeah, I'll send him down there. We'll take Yinan, we'll take Shorax, and then we'll see how we go from there. What do we got here, lads? Starbase upkeep reduced by 20. Buildings and districts reduced. Building and district upkeep reduced. I mean, you know what? That'd be pretty decent. And then we can get these two as well. Alright. When you complete one of these, in fact, we should be looking at completing the discovery next. Research speed plus 10% is very good. We can then get ascensions, which honestly, I don't know what ascensions we can go for here. Maybe Galactic Wonders, I'm not sure, but or Hive Worlds. Ooh, we could totally go Hive Worlds. Yeah. Actually, this doesn't even count as a Hive World. Yeah, we'll probably go Hive Worlds. That sounds really good, but we need climate restoration first, which is a technology, sociological technology, which we're probably not that close to. Look at that, 10 minerals at Arbitraeus. That's amazing.
System survey complete.
Cool, and 2 physics research at Eartheus. Yeah, sure, whatever. Come down here, survey that one. You can stack these survey orders, by the way. Like if I hold down shift, I can right click. A lot of trinary stars, this like trinary and binaries around the place. It's cool. What was that? Ah, this guy leveled up. That's good. He's our physics researcher. 22 months. We're currently coming 9th, which is not... we're 15th, sorry. Only 15th. Wow. It's probably last. Our expansion has been very much hindered by the physics stuff.
Construction complete.
Yep, please. Cool. Build a mining station. 2 mining stations. I wonder what the upkeep of a... What's your upkeep? Do you have an upkeep? Oh no, energy ones don't have an upkeep. That's good. You can always use a few more energy credits. Having probed the frozen landscapes of the moon Arbitraeus 5A, we think we have struck something big. Science Officer Shirip speaks of a bacterial life form unlike any other. Bonds with other individuals to form large blankets that are durable yet light, and also acts like solar cells. They absorb solar energy with a surprisingly low efficiency loss percentage, most likely a result of evolution favoring those who could gather more heat in the harsh climate. Researchers back home could surely find some use of this information. So we find out if it can improve energy production, or we try and find a military use. We'll try and find a military use for it. The military is definitely lacking. Oh yeah, by the way, the nebula's here. So you can see good old nebula. Sensors can't see into systems if they're in nebulas. So in a way it's very good that that wormhole is outside of the nebula. Wormhole in a nebula, you're asking for trouble. It's basically how the Shevans came along in free space, wasn't it? Military development researchers have made progress with the samples we sent them from Arbitraeus 5A. They've reconstructed the biological solar cells and documented how they retain heat energy within themselves without taking damage. This has helped them develop a new defensive technology for our fleets. So improved reflectors are a permanent option and are also 30% done. That's good. It's good. I like that. And now he is done with that survey, so on you go. One nice thing that it does is it indicates that, so let's see, we can restrict systems so that when it goes on auto pathing, it will path around them. I think that civilian vessels do that automatically if there are hostile fleets present. Not 100% of that. We just need to be careful so that we don't accidentally lose a science vessel to a goddamn void cloud. Because that wouldn't be great for us, you know? Because when you lose a science vessel, you lose a scientist. And they take some time to get, like, up to reasonable levels. Currently got 18 minor artifacts, that's pretty good. Wouldn't mind a few more. I get the impression this has not been the best of starts. Nope, we are paused, my mistake. Oh yeah, one thing we could do here is remove some of these dense jungles. So what that'll do is we'll basically get more possible agricultural districts. Not exactly hugely useful, but what else are you going to do with that money? I wonder if there's a link between those two. I can't tell.
Construction complete.
I kind of hope that there isn't. Because if there is, then locking here down won't lock all of this down. We'll have to lock further through. We'll find out soon enough.
The spirits have granted us new wisdom.
Okay, atmospheric filtering is in. 5% more habitability. Alright. We can get plus 10 liter lifespan, plus 2 starbase capacity. The Hive Nexus, so that's an upgrade to our existing Hive building. It's good. Of course it's good. Or more defensive planning. That one. How's that special project coming along?
System survey complete.
10 months. Okay, cool. Build something here if we want to. I'm going to put another research station down actually. With more research labs, that gives us 2 more brain drone jobs. The crew clearing the jungle and Cortol station has made a... Okay, this is actually over here. Has made a breathtaking discovery. Deep within the forest, overgrown and obscured by the lush plant life, is a colossal alien space station. Architecturally stunning and built with technology far superior to our own, it is a true work of art. The station appears to have crashed to the surface, surviving the impact thanks to its unusual shielding capacities, which our scientists are now eager to examine. Regrettably, an archaeological excavation would prevent us from working the land until its completion. So we've just created an archaeological site here. That's cool. I believe it counts here. Yep, so -1 district for the moment. We kind of had that already. That's absolutely fine. When one of our scientists is free, we'll send him over and do some archaeologic stuff. Okay, we've actually found Epsilon aliens somewhere. Alderon. Oh, over here. Okay. Those are just going to be another alien species, I think. Like another, what do you call it? Where is the fleet? Oh. 4K, jeez. Is this a Fallen Empire? This isn't a Fallen Empire fleet. It's not big enough. This is a, caravan. Okay. We'll see which way they're going. Yeah, if they are actually able to make the teleport into our, or the hyperjump.
Construction complete.
Into our, what do you call it? Into our region, we will probably automatically identify them. And I think, yeah, I think this is just a caravan. Popped in, yep, there they are. Yeah, okay. Seeing as they haven't auto-identified, I'm going to... Let's see, can I... The one who's... That one, yep. So I pulled him off the Mercantile Guild's nicety plan, just so that we can try and identify that thing. See how it goes. It would be good to identify them properly. Oh, there's alloys over here in Karim. Just floating around, very nice. First contact pending. Okay, we found music. Okay, that's just a bad thing. We got like, we would have lost 2 insights or clues if we had any. We didn't have any. It doesn't matter.
Construction complete.
Lovely. Now we're just going to kind of sit at that for a bit. Physics
Anomaly
research
found.
is still way down.
System survey complete.
Nice. Come this way, please. Yeah, just passing through. That is totally a caravan.
Special project complete.
Ah, nice. The Void Clouds may be among the oldest entities in the universe. They seem to have originated just a scant few billion years after matter as we know it first appeared. The tremendous forces of the young cosmos making something out of nothing. They would have been stars once, but were not. Explaining their apparent animal intelligence is more difficult, but the answer might lie in the abnormally strong electromagnetic fields that keep them together. Another product of their primordial beginnings. It's not inconceivable that given enough time, the circulation of its strange stardust and gravitic fields aligned in a flexible approximation of neural pathways or computational circuits. Moreover, the clouds seem to be receiving impulses from one another, if not outright communicating, light years apart. Quantum entanglement is suspected to play a role in this phenomenon. So, we can get plus 33% damage to void clouds, or we'll get void loops, which gives us more physics research from jobs. Oh, and this is now a mining thing. Yeah, the physics research. We are so far behind in physics research that an extra 10% from jobs. Hell yeah. Like, it's not a lot, but every little bit counts, guys.
Anomaly found.
Yeah. Okay, these guys are down on... I can't really tell what they're down on properly until all those get filled. Down on amenities for sure, but they do have something that can make amenities, so I'm not really worried about that. You lads are fine. Nothing to really build there. A closer scan of a debris field around Gizium 1 has led to the discovery of an airtight capsule containing an atomic clock that measures time with unparalleled precision. There's a frequency uncertainty so low that it will be another 879 million years before it gains a single second, and it is counting down to a date 42 years and 3 days away. The capsule holds no clues as to what this date signifies or who the owners are, but it seems as though someone out there has lost track of the time. Keep an eye on it. Get 1,000 engineering research. Or, it's a bomb, destroy it. Get 1,000 energy research. Keep an eye on it. So they both gave the same research amounts, which is nice, but we'll roll the dice on what it actually is.
System survey complete.
Nice. Yeah, these do link together, so that is a little bit frustrating, because now the block point will be over here, if anywhere. It is still worthwhile to blockade here. Oh. Vessels detected in the Alderaan system seem to be part of some sort of expedition across the galaxy with purposes unknown. They've not made any hostile moves, nor is there any heavy weaponry in evidence. Instead, they seem to be broadcasting repetitive but not particularly content-filled signals in our general direction. Our diplomatic drone, Carb, is confused, but hopes that the broadcast will help our language drones translate their language. They're advertising. They're literally advertising. Anyway, I am very confident that there's nothing in here of like civilizational note.
Evading heretics.
Okay. Welcome to the Eternal Horizon. Alright. Look, it's not as bad as you think. It's definitely not as bad as you think. I'm gonna pull our diplomat away from improving relations with Kerem Star League to work on that. It's kind of important to fix up. If I send him this way, yeah, he will go around. That's very nice. I'm going to actually send him back to the archaeological site, because this guy can do plenty here now. So, couple of pros. Nothing is getting through here at this point of the game. So this part is on lockdown. Negative, if we want to get in here, we've got to come around all this way now. Ah, my god, the Eternal Horizon, huh? Well.
Anomaly found.
Goddamn black holes, huh? We are at our Empire Sprawl admin cap. Which is fine. Although their dwellings on habitat stations would suggest an advanced society, diplomatic drone Darmug is unsure whether we are indeed dealing with an intelligent life form. They seem unremittedly hostile, so much so that a stable society seems almost unthinkable. Even during our brief period of investigation, we have observed several displays of pure barbarism. They seem to have a language, but our language drones are still working on deciphering it so that we can make sense of his display. I think this is a barbarian horde. That would make a lot of sense to me. Yeah. Drop pods surrounding Ugazum 6 have been drifting powerless for quite some time. The ISS Asmussen the Gracious reports that whatever aliens these pods were transporting are now but withered husks on board, having evidently perished hundreds of years ago. One sole pod, however, has shown signs of onboard activity. While its engines are disabled, scans suggest its communications array is undamaged. We can hail them. Okay. Initiating communications protocol. Hello, unidentified visitor C. I am caretaker AX7B of Zolazin Drop Pod 175. I've been programmed to assist citizens during the resettlement procedure. Unfortunately, a hyperdrive malfunction led drop pods 114 through 175 to exit hyperspace 18 parsecs from our intended destination. I have attended with citizens as best I could. I even managed to prevent cannibalism for 1,840 days. Unfortunately, their air supply eventually ran out. Do you have citizens in need of tending, unidentified visitor C? If so, I would be happy to care for them. Sounds like a great idea. We'd be happy to have you. We get Governor Caretaker AX7B. No need of your services beyond the analysis of your parts. We get 1,000 engineering research. Well, we cannot permit an AI to run without surveillance. Fire on the pod. We'll have him. Excellent. I am ready to serve. Welcome to the Penuri Collective. Let's have a look at him. He's level 4. He's analytical and good at building ships. Oh, analytical is pretty good considering. We might put him in charge of Koros. Just very briefly, see what that does to our food production. Not much from the look of it. It's down to +2. That's fine. Because this will have also increased. Yeah, nice. And I mean, what was his other thing? Ship build? Ship build speed and ship build cost. Hey, it's saved money.
System survey complete.
Cool. Do this one then. I want to just pop to that one before we come down here. But I suspect that we're going to run into more hostiles down here. Ah, man, imagine having a horde faction just down here. It's going to be annoying. We'll eventually have to kill them all. Nothing for it. Okay, our attempts to decode the language used in the signals from the Epsilon aliens have hit a setback. Yeah, okay, whatever. Just -2 insights. Not that big a deal. We're over our admin cap now. You can see the effects. This is +0% cost. That is not entirely accurate. If we come to our campaigns, you can see 4 extra food for that one. Sad. Sad. Oh yeah, we should note, since we got the habitability upgrade, this is now 75%. This one here would be 55. You know, we're getting there for our colonization efforts. How's our other one doing here? 20% chance of a success. Okay. Nice, 40% chance now. We received a communication from the Dorbalon Enterprises. Wow, I speak for Chief Executive Officer Pudrig Den Dazga and the wealthy leader of Dorbalon Enterprises. They are a militarist fanatic xenophobe. Your alien ways are objectionable to us. Perhaps consider engaging in limited trade, assuming your inferior civilization produces anything worthy of trade. We'll be watching you. Where are they? Oh, geez, right there. And when I say right there, I mean, like, there's no hyperlinks between us, so that's fine. Cool.
Incoming transmission. The spirits have granted us
They want to
new
establish
wisdom.
an embassy, that's fine. Okay, we've got starholds. So now, living metal is still up on the table. That's still there. Corvette build speed and build cost. Exotic gas refineries, let us get exotic gases. sure if we have that yet. Ah, this is super important. Fleet command limit +10, and we can get destroyers, which is the next ship type up from corvettes. Oh, and we found a Racket Industrial Enterprise. This is the caravans that we were looking into. So they'll come through and trade. So that's cool. That's one of our guys finished up. Oh, excuse me. Having decoded what counts as a language among them, diplomatic drone Darmok has identified the ETA aliens as a nomadic civilization known as the Kopenjaxi reavers. They occupy a number of large space stations in and around the Eternal Horizon system, but has the bulk of their massive numbers in crowded and squalid conditions. Despite this, or perhaps because of it, they seem to have developed a strong martial culture. Life in the cold void has become second nature to them, and they're very adept at space warfare. There is no Kopenjaxi central government to speak of. Instead, they're divided into several different factions that vie endlessly with one another for resources and respect. Given their large population and shipbuilding capability of their stations, this constant infighting is the only thing keeping them from growing into a significant threat to galactic peace.
An alien empire now speaks to us in the language of the divine.
We more Dwamax. What do you want, foolish Dwamak? What happened to make your face look like that? Reactor accident? Vacuum exposure? Hee, look at you. We have a Kopenjaxi, we hunt Dwamak. If you come to Kopenjaxi turf, we make Dwamak stew. Not good for you, yes, he. Perhaps you know other Dwamaks. Perhaps you want them to be Dwamak stew. This can be arranged. Kopenjaxi not above fighting for Dwamaks against other Dwamaks, if price is right. Right, so. If you have a rival, which we don't, you can pay them to raid, or alternatively you can hire a leader. Now you can hire an admiral or a general, permanently, cost you 2,000 gold. They're not that bad. Only thing worse than a Dwamak is a Dwakam. No, do not ask what it is. Alright, cool story, bro. Right, so you can basically get them to go raid rivals if you can pay them enough. They may occasionally like ask you for shit, or they'll raid you, which is kind of annoying, but you know, whatever. Yeah, this is what we want. We want discovery. So we just got more experience gain and level cap up. Yeah, so not the best thing to have in our backyard. Particularly if they've also blocked off, yeah, they have, there it is. Yeah, they have blocked off this. We will not be able to fly through it. I mean, I'm gonna jump into the system to see what's there. But yeah, they own these 3 systems and they're probably just as full as this one was. We'd need like a mid-game fleet to take it out. Alright, both of our guys are ready and rocking to go and do some diplomacy. And I guess you can't exactly diplomacy somebody over to them. What does espionage actually do? Gather info. Ugh, no chance. Yeah, improve relations with these losers. Cool. Thing is, even if we, like, when we get our destroyers, we're not going to have a lot of like good stuff to put on them, unfortunately. So, you know, that sucks. God, I really want to get like passage through here. There is a way to do it later on.
System survey complete.
Sure. I was going to let him finish up that entire system, but if he's got an anomaly to research, well, I guess that'll take too long. So that brings us to the end of the episode. However, before that, there's probably some precursor shit in here that I would like to get a hold of. Unfortunately, we cannot just bulldoze through the Kopenjaxi. It is frustrating. There's not too much we can do about it, but we can be quite content that nobody is getting through here until we can. So we have essentially locked off this area. We still probably need to come up here and take that when we get a bit more admin cap. Alright, we'll handle that next time, I guess. In the meantime, though, I've been Sub, you've been yourselves. Later.